So, as you know, dogs have their own focus and their own priorities set. In some of the cartoon movies and some of the things that you would have seen, they always go after the bones. They have got their priorities right. If you've got a bone there, the dogs just go after it. So it's always, clear for them. They know what they want and what they need, and it's what they have always, in front of. If it is there, that's it. That's the first thing they would just lunge on and then take it. So it's pretty much about priorities. Priorities is prioritization is pretty important for not just for the software development, but also in terms of what we live, how we live, and what kind of work that we do. Irrespective of each of these, it's really important for us to kind of prioritize our work, our business, prioritize our product development, prioritize our life choices, everything. So prioritization pretty much comes up in whatever we do as part of a life. So what is prioritization really? Just to set the context, prioritization is about taking a decision about something, right? It's about whether it could be your life choice, it could be something to do with your technology preference, your career choice, for example, is also prioritization. So that's where we talk about prioritization in terms of, for example, you take it could be index cards, it could be post-its, it could be in your own mind, you actually think in terms of what is good for you. Some of the people, I too get some kind of inquiries, and people ask me for advice. Which one should I take? Should I be a BA or should I be focused on developer? Or if I'm a developer, do you think I should be focused on next important thing like Python, or should I actually kind of diversify into something else like database, right? These are all choices. These are all some of the important aspects that we do need to consider when we are making some kind of life choices, right? So prioritization is not just limited to the work. It is actually about our career, about our life choices, about whatever we do every day, day in and day out. And that's where prioritization is really, really important. So what is prioritization? It's about identifying the requirements, not just requirements, the features, the functionality of a product, or it could be the pieces of work that you would do, or it could be the choices that you take as part of your career and life. So you prioritize, what do you need to do first and what do you need to do next, right? So it is all in terms of the relative importance. It's actually relative, right? So if you say that you actually cannot see, nobody can see further than, let's say, 5 years, 10 years. Previously, it was 5 years. Now, even businesses are looking at a shorter term of 1 year. With all the things happening around us, the kind of visibility that we have, the time frame has reduced from 5-10 years to actually kind of quarters, 3 quarters, 2 quarters to 1 year max. That's a long term. So within that period, what is it that is important for me as a person or for a business, right? In terms of their goals, their requirements, their vision, and also where they sit in the context of the life cycle. So that could be not just important, but also most important thing that we should actually consider there is urgency. So it's not just being important, but also urgent. What is important and what is urgent to do now rather than sometime later. So we'll have a look at, there's actually kind of a tool that you would, that you can use. So we're going to give you that tool in a few slides later. We talk about the importance versus urgency. So that's a kind of a matrix you can use to help prioritize your decisions. So bear in mind that prioritization is not a one-time act. You don't do it once and forget it. You actually kind of do it pretty much like every day, every minute, every second. We have got this kind of choices, right? We are thrown with choices, whether to eat, what to eat, right? What to eat when. And so you have got that option to prioritize even your eating choices, your living choices, your lifestyle choices, and the product features, functionality, everything. So it's important we do realize that prioritization is not just one time, but actually kind of grows. It pretty much is like entire life cycle of your work, whether you're working on a project or a particular product development initiative, a program, or it could be your own life. And then the most important thing is here that prioritization actually is a kind of simple technique or an activity that you do, but then it is actually feeding into the much larger aspect of your planning, how you're planning your approach. If you do not prioritize where you want to go, you can actually prioritize in terms, for example, You want to go to a separate on a holiday, for instance. I mean, not now, but some other time, or you would actually plan something for going to a holiday in 2022, for instance. So you can decide how you want to go, what you want to go, the plan. So in terms of prioritization, you've got some ideas how you can prioritize your funds, how you can actually prioritize your time, your work time, your if you have got children, how they would come up there in that context, that their priorities, all of these, you should consider pretty much everything. And that's where you know to consider the some of the aspects like identification of options, analyze those options, and then you kind of implement or execute those options, and then evaluate whether they have taken the right decision or not. And then this is continuous, this is a loop, the circle continues forever. This goes on and on and on and on. It doesn't stop with one cycle, it doesn't stop with one sprint. The next sprint comes up, you again need to take prioritization of features, you again need to plan, you again need to execute, you need to review. So all of these are important in that context.